Hi, it's yet another delight to have you join us for this month's edition of Development Issues. My name is Zainab Sanni. So, my first encounter with the word abortion was as a teenager when I heard my classmates in secondary school at that time discussing about it, and what I heard them say were about how a girl who aborted a baby went into the school toilet to use a hanger and pull out the child from her womb. I heard terrible things, to be honest, and I imagined the worst. So it gave me the perception that only people who are the lowest of the lows, people who deserve to rot in the deepest part of hell, commit abortion or go out, or decide to abort a baby. And I would later realize that even in Nigeria here, abortion is illegal. So it was surprising to find out that Nigeria, which has the second highest burden of maternal deaths in the world, most of these deaths come from unsafe abortion. If abortion is illegal, if it is so wrong, why are so many people doing it? Joining me to have this conversation is Simeon Chuckwu. He is a monitoring and evaluation officer for an adolescent sexual and reproductive health and rights program in Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us on Development Issues, Mr. Chuckwu.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to have these discussions around abortion. So I always look forward to such platforms and opportunity to be able to amplify the issues around this subject.
Okay, so I find many things interesting about you, and the first is the fact that your name is Christian. Okay. So you're going to tell me today why you, a Christian, is advocating for abortion. So before we go into the nitty-gritty of abortion or no abortion, of why abortion is illegal in Nigeria, I spoke to a couple of development practitioners, and I would like us to listen to what they have to say.
So abortion for me should not be legalized in Nigeria. My reasons: one is we already have choices. You already have a free will to do whatever you want. So we all say there's a consequence for our actions, but we are moving into a world where we can eat our cakes and have it. So I can have sex, I can do whatever I want to do, and I can also abort the baby if I feel like. So it's like there's no consequence for any action. Do whatever you want. So it gives that sense of do whatever you feel like doing, especially for young people. You would always get away with it. Number two is abortion should not be legalized. I'm pro-life. So as a Christian, when mistakes are made, you get pregnant. Rather than being from a point of condemnation, that's where the church and members of the body of Christ are supposed to come and be supportive. Yes, you've made a mistake. Perhaps it was due to just experimenting, or just a choice you made and you realized, oh, I'm pregnant, my education is going to stop and this. No, we are going to support you. If you don't want to take care of the baby, you cannot afford to take care of the baby in terms of poverty, we would be able to take care of the baby and also give the child for adoption if you choose to. So that's where, rather than saying legalize abortion, I think we should support more adoption. So we should make the process of adoption easier. There are women who don't have children who are struggling so much, and then you have people who are aborting, risking their life. So rather than putting your life at risk, I think that's where the church comes and makes the two of them and say, yes, we are pro-life, we would support you. And if you choose to, you can't take care of the child, we can give for adoption, or we can support you in terms of your education to see that you have a better life.
We need to decriminalize abortion. Now, what this does is that it reduces the amount of women seeking secretive, fast, and non-judgmental abortion care from quack providers. Now, these quack providers are the ones that provide unsafe abortion methods that lead to life-threatening complications or death, as the case may be. According to statistics, Nigeria has one of the highest maternal mortality rates in the world. And guess what the major contributor is? Unsafe abortions. Now, according to laws relating to abortion is only permitted, it's only legal when it is done to save the woman's life. Let's not forget that women have abortions for different reasons: contraceptive failure, rape, abuse, mental health issues, so many reasons.
So looking at the comments from those development practitioners, would say that idea that abortion is against our religious beliefs, either as a Christian or as a Muslim, is very prominent. here in Nigeria, and you are Mr. Christian, a Christian. So why do you support abortion, and is it not against your own spiritual or religious beliefs?
Yeah, so the fact that my name depicts Christian does not mean I should not understand that people have a right to make choices in life. And just like those guys that you said were against abortion, it is their own opinion, it is also their own right. So as much as we like to bring our religion, as much as we like to bring our doctrines, as much as we like to bring our values to the forefront, we must also realize that it's not everybody that can be in the same boat. And that's where the beauty of life lies in. So that abortion is moral or immoral is a subject of continuous discussion for another day. Nobody has a right moral compass or the compass to measure who is morally right or who is morally wrong. People have a right to decide what they do with their life. Our job as a society is to provide information. Our job as a society is to provide counseling. Our job as a society is to give people that choice, that opportunity to be able to make decisions. We don't bottle people together and insist that they must follow whatever it is you're following. Otherwise, if God wanted all of us to be pagans or Christians or Muslims, He has the power to do that. But that's why you have a Christian, you have a Muslim, you have free thinkers, you have pagans, and
You have Buddhists.
yes. So if God wanted all of us to be in the same boat, we would have just been in the same boat with Noah. Yes.
Okay.
But some people did not join Noah's ark.
Now, you've worked on the field for a couple of years, close to a decade or more, I suppose. And what has been your experience out there on the field?
Fantastic. Every day, as we speak right now, every day somewhere, somehow, an adolescent girl is needing support. An adolescent girl is pregnant. In fact, from my experience, initially we were focusing more on the adolescent girl,
Okay.
teaching them about how to protect themselves. But we realized that who is even responsible for the pregnancies that these girls carry?
A guy like you?
Is it the guy or the angels? Is it
guy like
angels?
you.
Okay, so there are guys too.
Yes.
So we are also targeting guys now. That okay, the fact that you took a girl out for dinner, the fact that you have invested so much on her does not give you the right to own her body. Her body is her right, and it's her right to make whatever decision she wants to make. So every day on the field, we find a lot of girls who are pregnant. And like I explained to you before, imagine a 15-year-old girl. We found 15, we found 14, we found 13, found 17, 16, and like that, who are pregnant. And when a 15-year-old girl, let me even stick to 15 now. If a 15-year-old girl gets pregnant, what do you think she will want to do? Or what will even happen to her?
If I was that 15-year-old.
No, not if you were the 15-year-old girl.
Okay,
If a 15-year-old girl gets pregnant, what do you think are the likely things that will come with it?
Going from experience, she will be shamed, scorned, probably have to stop her education, and focus on taking care of the child for a couple of years.
Now, I'm going to give it a classical example, an analogy of the Nigerian educational system. A child is born, the child is expected to spend 6 years at home before the child starts schooling. And then that's after 6 years, you enter primary school, spend 6 years. That's how many years? 12. After your primary school, you go to junior secondary school, you spend 3 years. That's how many years?
15.
And then you proceed to senior secondary school. That's how many years? 18.
years.
Now imagine that 15-year-old girl I use as an example. Where do you think her education will stop?
The junior secondary school.
Junior secondary school. So because, let's even say, luck smile on her, and then she has finished junior school and she's in senior school, SS1 or SS2. Because she knows that, first of all, I don't know if there's any school in Nigeria that admits young girls with pregnancy now. Good. So because she knows she's going to be rusticated or expelled from school, she wants to quickly find solution to her problem before anybody gets to find out. And unfortunately or fortunately, if she's the daughter of the school principal, it's even worse. If she's the daughter of a pastor, a deaconess, a professor, a prominent person.
There's this unconscious bias that the right thing is for a girl to go to school, proceed to the university, get married, do a big wedding, especially here in southwest Nigeria, and then before she gives birth. It's conditioned in people's mind already that is the process a girl has to go through. So if that 15-year-old, you know, the one you painted in your scenario, gets pregnant, she's thinking, I've brought shame to my family. I have to protect my image. I have to grow up in that line of, you know, although it's not right, but that's the way it is. She thinks she wants to go back to that script that has been written for her as a girl child. So the viable option for her at that point is abortion.
Good.
But now the question would be that where does she go to abort the baby? Because abortion in Nigeria is illegal. If you walk into an hospital that you want, if I go to UCH for example, I want to abort, the likelihood is I will get arrested. That I'm about to commit a crime. So that's a young girl that can't go anywhere. That's because it's wrong to do an abortion in Nigeria. What are the options for her before we come to why or not abortion should be legal or illegal?
Okay, so the society leaves that girl to another double problem. First, she's pregnant and she knows she's going to drop out of school. She wants to quickly find solution to that pregnancy. So what does she do? She wants to abort the baby. When she wants to do that, because she doesn't know where to go to, she's naive, secondary school. She just talks to another very close friend who she thinks is more exposed than she is. And then maybe she does it and then she succeeds to terminate the pregnancy. She may not know that she may have created 2 other problems for herself in the future. Because usually when on the field, when the girl comes like that, she's very anxious. There's this anxiety, fear of the unknown. She just wants to find solution to her problem. And you cannot waste a second with that kind of girl if you don't refer her to a proper place where she'll be counseled and then where she'll also be supported for service. So she wants to do all of these things just to find immediate solution.
So it's no wonder that Nigeria has, you know, most maternal deaths in Nigeria come from unsafe abortion.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now, should the government legislate on abortion in the first place?
It's a discussion that has been on for long. But you know, because we live in Africa where religion is an opium of the masses, and religion has bottled a lot of people. Religion closes the mind of a lot of people.
You're going to get attacked for saying this.
Yes,
and I'm not
I know.
Okay.
Religion does not allow people to think from the other perspective. It's a closed mind. And then, so it is that same narrative you have from childhood that you get to grow up, transfer to the other person. It takes the place of grace for you to find another information. It takes the place of grace for you to find another narrative.
And accept it.
And accept it. So we are going to continuously keep having this conversation. Whether it is morally wrong or right is not a discussion. It is whether it is the right of that person to have that baby or not. Because if you have a baby you don't plan for, do you know all the implications that comes with that? The psychological implication, the financial implication, and all of the other implications that come with having a baby you didn't plan for. Because what we call abortion, or what a pregnancy you want to terminate, is something you didn't plan for. If you plan for it, it's always a delight. It's celebrated. Abi? When you come back home and you tell your husband that you're pregnant, especially if it's the first baby that you both plan together, it's always a thing of joy. The husband will celebrate, dance around. But if you bring a pregnancy that you don't plan for, it comes with a lot of implications. And if you now talk about the adolescent girl that people expect to still be in school, if you talk about the adolescent girl that people expect to still go through all the narratives that you heard, go to school, spend 18 years, another 4 in school and tertiary institution.
And not a rich husband.
Good, you know. And she didn't go through all of those, and then she's pregnant. So it comes with a lot of problems. To avoid all these problems, the girls want to find solutions.
We'll come back to whether or not government should legislate on abortion. But for a very long time, there's been an emphasis on safe sex, on using condoms, on going for prevention, that is not having sex until you're married. Why does it seem as though this has not worked? Because we keep getting pregnant teenagers every day.
Okay, one of them is partly also to the partners, the guys. Some of them don't believe in contraceptive method. However, when we go to our programs, what we teach is the ABC formula. A means abstinence, abstain, flee from temptation, like the Bible says, stay away. If you stay away, temptation will not come to you. Yes, temptation will come, but if you abstain from it, you will not, all the problems that comes with it, you will not be bedeviled with them. And then the B is to be faithful. If it's difficult for you to abstain, please just be faithful to one partner. Abi? Good. So being faithful also helps you to plan your family. Being faithful also helps you to plan your career. So if you can't be say you know fit dey faithful, maybe body na otija, like the Yorubas would say, she don't turn to Igboro. That's where the seed comes in, the use of contraceptive. You talk about pills, you talk about injectables, you talk about condoms, talk about IUCD and all other family planning methods. So, but you see that the A comes first before the B and C. It is not a coincidence. It's just how life is structured. But the fact that a girl is pregnant should not mean it's the end of our world. We should not.
Why has now you gave us using contraceptive, going for prevention first, being faithful if you can help it, and then using contraceptive. Why do we still keep getting pregnant teenagers despite preaching these methods to teenagers?
Okay, another reason is because the information is still not trickling down enough. We're not doing well enough. Like I said, religion is making us not have some very important conversations. You know, when we go for our programs, I like to always talk to religious leaders. I like to always talk to parents and stakeholders. I ask them this very simple question. How many of you here will be bold to say you have ever called your children to give them sex education?
Exactly where I was going.
Why are we shying away from this conversation and leaving our children prey into the antics of the society? And if you don't train up your children, the society will train them up in a way you don't even like.
So parents should begin to have honest,
yes, very frank conversations with their children.
Okay. So now back to the Nigerian government obviously legislates on abortion, whether it is their right to do that or not, and it remains a crime. Has the civil society, done anything in that regard to ensure that they begin to take another look at the conversation? And that would be hard because many people, the people who make up the Legislative Assembly are Nigerians from our society who also share these religious and moral perspectives. So, is there a way around it?
Yes, of course. The conversation, like I said before, has continued. Let me even give you an example. Recently, the Oyo State government did pass a bill into law on abortion.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but the clause there is that you must be qualified. You must be a medical doctor to be able to perform abortion services. And also it must be at the point of the pregnancy constituting problem for the woman. Maybe if the pregnancy is not terminated, it may take the life of the woman and also the life of so at that point. But my joy is that, so at least there's a point where we agree that people can go for abortion, right? Good. So it is at that point we put off all the moral, all the religious, all the other things, all the narratives we all grew up with, and agree that there's a point where abortion could be an option for a woman. And so that's always my joy. But we'll continue the conversation. We'll continue to dialogue with a lot of people, especially at the community level. Because when you bring some of these issues to their front, they begin to understand the implication of telling people that abortion is not an option. And I know why they keep saying that abortion is not an option. It's because of the old ways of doing things. People don't know that there are actually newer ways through which abortion could be carried out without any problem. There are pills you just take. One of them is to end the pregnancy at that point, and the other one is to push it out. I'm not going to call the name of the pills. But there are pills that you can use now to actually end the pregnancy you didn't plan for.
Okay. Now, there's this other issue. When I first heard about the word abortion, what comes to mind is that a woman is the one who, just removes the baby from her womb. I would later learn that is actually induced abortion, and abortion can happen naturally. Can you walk me through that?
Yeah, so there are different ways through which abortion could be done. One, it could be induced, self-induced. The other one could be maybe it could be just a natural process from accident or anything. That's what we call miscarriage. So
it's actually abortion.
well, you may not call it abortion,
Okay.
really, because maybe the woman didn't plan to terminate the pregnancy. It just happens in a natural process. But the induced one is the one you know you want to go through this, and then you carefully go to somebody who is skilled. And because that's what we always advocate for. Go to somebody who is skilled. Unfortunately, the more you waste time, the more these local chemist shops take advantage of the girls to sell their market, and then they offer services that may double the problem for the girl in the future. So she goes, and for as low as 200 naira, they get a pill, they take. We had one. She has gone through a lot. She has tried different pills. I guess the baby just holds the pill once the pill comes in.
Okay. People say that that's a...
It's just it's a myth. And this is why it's important that we don't leave this job to the quacks. If you don't want to talk about it, people need it. And as long as people need it, they will look for a way to find it. If the quack is in the underground floor of Cocoa House, they will find the quack. They just want access. They need this
so
thing.
despite having conversations about abortion is not an option, it's something that we must do because...
Yeah, it's something we need to discuss. Why do you even think it's wrong? Is it because of what they told you growing up? Have you had a first-hand experience? It's very easy to sit in front of camera and begin to condemn abortion and begin to say that abortion is wrong until you are at the forefront, until you have somebody, or until it happens to somebody that is very close to you. You have cases in Akinyele now where they rape girls every day.
Yeah.
And the worst is that they don't even just rape now, they rape and kill. Supposing you have a girl that is raped, what do you do?
Do I need to say that?
Yes, so does it mean that because our religion says abortion is not an option, she's going to keep that pregnancy? I gave you a scenario of 5 armed robbers having sexual intercourse with a housewife. First of all, she's traumatized that she was defiled. Second, she's traumatized that her rights were taken away from her. There's no consent in the process. And not just one person, 2, 3, 4, 5. When the baby comes, what do you name the baby? And if anything happens, the husband too will always bring it back to her memory. Now look at your child.
So at that point, you're not even thinking, is it right or wrong to do abortion? You're thinking, what is the best next thing
solution
to do?
We have another case recently in Lagos, about 2 or 3 months ago. A woman, a young girl, drowned her baby in a bucket of water and went to the police station to report herself. It was a very classical example for us. Why do you do that? She said, because anytime she sees the baby, it brings back a lot of negative memories for her. Causes her a lot of depression. And the only way for her to get back her sanity is to kill that child. Why did you get to that stage? She said because she was counseled against abortion. Because the sister told her that abortion is wrong. Because the society has told her that abortion is not an option for her. So she has to go through the process, the pain of carrying a child for 9 months, go through the agony of childbearing, and then now carry the baby for even up to 6 to 7 months before drowning the baby. Do we want to continue in that light? Do we want to continue to litter the society with children we didn't plan for? Go to the street, you find a lot of children with no hope, no future. There's a lot of problems already, and you want to keep birthing more children. So if contraceptive is not an option, if a girl has been raped, are we saying that she doesn't have an option of terminating the pregnancy because our religion, because our society, because our values doesn't support abortion?
Okay, so I know you've said a lot about it so far, and you've given us pockets here and there of why abortion should be illegal. But as we round up this conversation, in 3 sentences, just tell us why abortion should be legal in Nigeria. In 3 sentences.
Okay, so I'm going to support that abortion should be legalized, but with a lot of clauses and conditions. First of all, it must be just like the Oyo State government said, it must be conducted by skilled professionals, very well trained professional, and what we even call unsafe abortion. You might be skilled, but carrying it out in an unsafe environment. So a skilled person doing abortion in an unsafe environment makes it unsafe abortion. An unskilled person carrying out abortion in a safe environment is unsafe abortion. So you can see the technicalities. You must be skilled, you must be trained, you must be a professional, and it must be done in a safe environment. So those are the only conditions through which I'm going to support that it should be legalized. And we have our different partners too that have been visiting different house of assemblies, to propose these bills that we need to do more to provide access for adolescents, and not just adolescents, for women, because it's a right issue, it's a reproductive health and right issue. And we're going to continue. I'm not going to stop. I know there are a lot of other people who are from the other side of the divide. It is fine, and that's the beauty of life, the dynamics, that there's variety. You don't like it, somebody else likes it. So because you don't like, does that mean I should come to the side of your own divide?
All right. As you can see, it's been quite a stimulating and engaging conversation on development issues this month. And I hope that whatever choices you make, whether you're pro-choice or you're anti-abortion, I do hope that you remain sexually responsible. My name is Zainab Sanni, and see you next month.